We're here because of this extraordinary building that was constructed in 2003 by Diageo. It's a brewery, with distilling being basically, 2/3 is brewing. Getting hold of a state-of-the-art brewery was an opportunity that was too good to refuse. I thought about Ireland quite a long time ago, but it was also driven by Duncan McGilvery in Bruichladdich, who had been there since the late 60s. And I remember him saying to me that the best barley he'd ever seen at that distillery came from Ireland. So come in and have a look around. Come and have a look and see where we've got to. Here on the left is the old Georgian house of the Strangmans. This is now our offices. Lovely building. We have on the left in blue the old brewery. I don't know, I find it all a bit spooky. So there's that well, and then 3 springs. And from those springs, the water is pumped to reservoirs. So 2 boilers, gas operated. For us, everything comes from the same. It comes from our own springs. There's another one of the springs here. So we've got plenty of water in Waterford. I probably think it's a ghost or something. This is the malt intake. It fills automatically into those silos. We can store roughly 3.5 weeks worth of barley. That's 350 tonnes.
This is our stoner. When we started it up initially, it was going the wrong way. It's barley though that's coming through now, it's not malted yet, so we just wanted to test this whole system by getting in just dried barley from the field, literally. So there is a bit of chop, it's not malt, it's a little bit heavier, and everything is working as it should be. Thank God.
So, I suppose this is this sort of central part of the brewery. Lots of stainless steel, more stainless steel than you can shake a stick at.
In 2003 it was state of the art, but we've actually upgraded as much as possible as we could go. And we're further upgrading now, so we still have the latest technology, so it's a very modern plant.
This here was a pasteurising unit, and pasteurising to me is an anathema if you're making anything decent to drink. So that obviously had to go.
Came in here in 2003 as a kind of maintenance electrician come technician. We learned the hard way because it was such new technology, nobody kind of really knew about it. So it was a good way to come in, and kind of what you did is you grew up with it, I suppose. You learn from something when it actually blows up.
These are very clever valves that sort of talk to each other, particularly when you're not here, they talk to each other. I don't think if you started a brewery or a distillery, you just wouldn't normally go around putting these things in because they're so expensive. It's quite exciting to have all these shiny new toys to play with. This is some of the tons of stainless steel. Being a big multinational company, when they put it together, this 30 million euros, it buys you 1 shed load of stainless steel. Frankly, we just don't need it all. So we've been simplifying everything, taking stuff out. So where I'm standing is where the stills are going to be. These are sort of yeast propagation tanks, so this is something that would be of great interest to us, to be able to propagate our own indigenous yeast.
It's an unusual piece of kit, it's called a hydromill. This actually puts liquor into the column, and we know the shear rate of the product going through is at the most optimal.
It's OTT. It's completely, ridiculously OTT. We've got a sort of Ferrari here, a Formula One distillery, but we're actually trying to slow it down. These are pretty cool too. These are thermoregulated. So we have a glycol refrigeration plant, which allows us to circulate cold glycol around the outside of the fermentation vessels. This means we can control infinitely the fermentation process. Slowing the fermentation down produces purer flavors. Would you go and install, look at it, this complexity of fermentation vessels in a distillery? No. With our two stills, we'll be operating 24 hours a day, every day of the year. So this is a very fancy cleaning system which cleans every pipe, every valve, every tank. So you can carry on operating and cleaning at the same time.
I suppose the whole process being so automated, it speeds up everything, and even from a point of view from breakdown and stuff like that, we can override things as well, so it makes it very convenient.
I don't empathize with this building. I don't love it. I value it because of what it can do for me.
The guys are really involved in the whole ethos that Mark has talked about. They're going to believe in something that maybe it's going to be a legacy here.
See, I wasn't joking when I said we had lots of stainless steel. It's a chance to do things that you just wouldn't be able to do in a distillery. It's not a pretty distillery. You couldn't fall in love with it. It's too industrial, it's too steel. It is brutal, it is efficient, it is expensive. This is state of the art today. It's sort of like a facilitator. It's making something possible. It's sort of an enhancer, it's an enabler. It allows me to make that barley talk.